We're back. We're doing another video. Today, Timothy and I, we selected, I believe, 4 looks that are workwear inspired.
Yes. Just to give a little, preface here, we don't expect anyone to do any actual work in here. Please,
No.
You don't need to comment that. We understand these are expensive items and we're just calling them workwear. They are workwear inspired pieces. We sell fashion. I mean, and if you worked hard in a Margiela jacket, that's cool.
That's cool. You want to do some welding in a Margiela jacket? You should.
Amazing. So all of your underwater welding, we've got some outfits inspired for you.
Underwater welding, train track work, woodworking, engineering.
These are all the work things we know.
So anyway, we've got them workwear inspired. We've got the looks, full kits, top to bottom, shoes, the whole thing. We have our old friend with us today.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun. So we'll bring him in a second.
The prodigal son has returned.
He's back. He's gonna get sandwiches and Lolitas. So we're gonna hop into it. It should be fun. We're just gonna see how it goes.
Okay, let's go.
All right, so here's the first look. The focus here is the jacket, you see? So because this is like, it's like an old welder jacket. It's a little like a Detroiter jacket. This is from Margiela. It has some cool distressing, so you get the look of like that you'd find in almost like, a vintage shop or something like that, except for the fit is much better, obviously. It's still quilted, so you get all these details. This is easy to wear. You throw it over anything. There's a reason why these have been popular in fashion. They've been popular in like the workwear of things, you know what I'm saying? For this, we figured best thing with this is the focus, and this is all simple. So this is the EG fatigue.
Just got them in. I think it's a brushed cotton.
Brushed cotton this year. It doesn't matter what season it is. I think this works with this kind of thing anytime. So we wanted to kind of start simple and like easy with just a t-shirt. And then the 2 points of interest in this case when you're going with something like this, where it's like now you can play around with other stuff. So you can play around with the proportions like we did with the Marni shoes, which are still kind of like workwear, almost like old like desert boots or like kind of a bean boot or something. It's a little chunkier, but because we're not really playing with anything unusual like color or proportion anywhere else, I think it's cool to do it down there. Yeah. And then we softened it up with like a tonal, very like delicate bag. It's the croissant bag from LEMAIRE.
Croissant, Timothy.
Sorry.
Croissant.
Yeah, he lived in France, he knows. We don't, we lived in Indiana. So yeah, like I think that like it's an easy way to like soften up a pretty tough look, which I also think really helps. So I think we've talked about it a lot in these videos, but it's kind of just always finding balance. So you take something very rugged and tough looking and kind of beat up, and then you sort of like clean it up everywhere else and like soften. Yeah. So it's just an easy way to pull off that sort of like, that rugged look without feeling like you're all in or you're playing costumey or something like that. Yeah. Does that make sense?
With it.
Anyone else got anything?
Well, I think like just wearing it when you have that sort of like rugged exterior with the clothing, and then you put something a bit more dainty on it, you also feel more comfortable. Like you don't feel out of place. Like the clothing is so easy to wear and very, you feel safe in a way. Yeah. And then you add something like a shoe like this or like a bag like that, which might be a little out of your comfort zone, but because of what you're wearing is so like comfortable to you, it's all right. You feel okay. So
and like in this situation, you kind of don't over accessorize. It's kind of like you pull one thing back. You just get the bag. It's a statement enough. I mean, if you kind of give a little bit of a turn, you see how like the leather's really beautiful, but it's also a little bit of a statement on its own, just in the structure and style of it. And then keeping it tonal again, so you're just kind of always pulling one more thing back while still trying to push it forward a little bit. And then I think you get this nice like living in between two worlds look that I think works really well in fashion.
Yep. Yeah, cool. Looks sharp.
Beautiful.
Okay, we're back with the second look. I'd like to point out, it's a little slimmer than maybe the last look or maybe the other looks, but this works really well on him.
You don't have to go big to do workwear.
Nope, nope. This looks really good though. So we got the Skags, which are just, they're maybe not perhaps workwear inspired, but they're a sneaker.
To me, in this situation, what I like about putting a Converse, a Vans, or anything like that with this look is if you put boots with this, I think it gets costumey fast. And
Agreed.
I think that's what's weird about
Yeah.
workwear is you kind of have to be careful if you're putting two pieces together, especially like this is very simple and maybe a little bit more on the nose for workwear, but like everyone has access to this type of thing. Now we used a work shirt from EG so you get the little like details like the pencil slot, cigarette pocket, you know, it's a fuller cut, and then put that with the slimmer double RL pant with the distressing.
Double knee,
knee.
an actual work piece, you know. So.
I think most people do the double knees and you get the vintage ones and everything and they're really baggy, and I think that looks super cool. I wanted to do something a little bit different to just show another way to still do that look and clean it up. And then if you do it with a Converse, like I said, Vans, whatever it is that you have going on, it just makes it feel normal.
Casual.
You know what I mean? Instead of it being like, if you put boots with that, it's gonna look like we went for a lumberjack look.
Yeah.
It feels a little unrealistic to everyday walking around. So it's just like, it's just an easier way. This is super clean. I feel like anybody could technically wear this. I think anybody's style this kind of works in their wardrobe. How does it feel on? Is it all right?
Yeah, I think this is much more workable than that last one in the sense that this is something that I could wear every day. I love the slimness of the pant because I think sometimes you get caught in like workwear having to be oversized. But there is something really elegant about it being kind of slimmed down and stuff. So I like this one a lot.
It feels more like Ralph Lauren American sportswear type of look, and I think that's like you get, if you just, again, we're gonna say it probably over and over again, but I think it's like the only thing you really need to know about styling is just knowing how to like balance things well. And it's just taking like, this is softer and it has this really great like, you know, like wider shape to it. And then you balance that with the slimmer pant. We're not talking skinny jeans or anything, but just slimmer. You see, it's like just fitting,
not
it's just
baggy.
bugging and it just makes it a little cleaner. And then like I said, with the Converse, it just makes it feel like anybody could do this without it being a big deal.
Is this meant to be like cuffed once because of the...
Yeah, exactly. So you can just flip it up once and then it stays open because they actually don't taper this at all and they don't really put any like gusset in it.
Barrel
So that if
cuff,
you do that, with the barrel cuff. So it's like a traditional workwear type of thing so that when you do that, it stays above your wrist when you're working. Yeah, so this has, the work shirt from EG is a really great example of like something that feels modern and like a Japanese interpretation, but it's still based on all vintage stuff. So all the details
happens
feel,
every season. It's something that we get. So
this is also a way to stay pretty heavily pocketed, as you see. He's got the side pockets, all of the normal stuff with like a double knee, and all the pockets on the shirt without actually needing to put on some jacket with 100 pockets either. So you kind of get all the features of like workwear, but really like simply done. So it's an easy look. This one's for everybody.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, we're back. We had to handle some drama, but we are back.
Third look.
Easton, you look seriously stellar in this. This one is a fun one. Brando, I think the pants work well with the jacket. We wanted to work this corduroy COTTLE piece in real quick. Go ahead and it's fully lined.
So you're still workwear adjacent here with like a chore coat. It's corduroy fabric. You're still you're in that whole world, but we wanted to make it feel like luxurious.
It's like a canvas jean.
Yeah.
It's like a heavy duty material. The cut is a little fuller.
And there you go. When you do like a not double knee in like a bigger pant, you're also gonna get the drape on it, even if it's a heavier material. And I think that's sort of important when you're working with like bigger proportions. But then we just wanted to like make it prettier, so you do it with a LEMAIRE piece underneath, and then the whole thing suddenly looks a lot more luxurious, but still like rugged, like you could go do manly things.
And I think this is the first time we've styled these boots, or if it isn't, it's the first time I've seen them on a person. These are sick.
They're very cool. So these are Marni. They've got the big toe cap. It definitely is giving kind of like that Timberland look to it, but it feels, just a little different. And that's like my favorite thing fashion can do when you're just like, you have to look twice and go, I'm familiar with it, but it's different. And that's the best. So it's kind of like, this feels very like subtly, I mean, it's not subtle. It's very expensive, but it's like you add elements of like prettiness into workwear, and then it kind of turns into a different thing. You know what I mean?
Like this, it's a leather cap, so it kind of elevates it a little bit. I think it looks sharp. What do you think, Isto?
Man, I feel the best in this one.
Honestly, when I was just outside getting the shipment we just got, I was like, man, this is sharp. This is really sharp. So.
And I miss you saying that to me. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you look great. Dude.
It's
This is
clean,
sick.
it's pretty, it's kind of Ralph Lauren-y,
Yeah.
it's easy, and then like that's the whole thing. If you just are able to kind of bring that like ease to workwear instead of it feeling so like rigid and tough and difficult to wear,
And
then
waxed and shit.
yeah, and then it's easy to introduce these like larger sizes, like these bigger proportions, would just make it cleaner. So don't do all the pockets when it's like that.
Yeah.
Clean up the pants if you're gonna do a wider fit, so it like just hangs a little bit better.
Yep.
And then you're looking like
Yep.
$1 million like he's doing.
Proportionally to jackets longer than the sweater underneath.
Yeah.
So you get this little 1-2 boom boom.
Yeah.
Honestly, this is really sick. We hit this one out of the park. It's still flying as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
So.
And Easton caught it.
And he got it. All right.
We know a lot about baseball.
All right. We're back to the fourth look. My favorite. I saved the best for last one, in my opinion. But the other one.
really nice. Yeah. So we're kind of it's a classic like that workwear corduroy collar leather.
Yep.
Saying leather jacket. Is this suede?
No, fast way.
No.
Can't do that at the court.
Yeah. But it's that classic worky jacket, like heavier
Big,
jacket,
roomy.
quilted on the inside. Really heavyweight. So you do something like this, and then we still wanted to like give it another kit on the inside that feels like workwear with the plaid. And then you also have this like chino with just a little dusting of distress.
Yes.
So you kind of like the whole thing feels like it's mildly lived in.
Yeah.
So you're getting a pretty classic look, although it feels like he's worn this plenty.
Yeah.
So it's in
welted shoes. Yeah. This is really dope. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the shirt is wonderful. I love that. I think, I feel like a guy who spent a lot of money to look like he did something, and he's just hanging out, relaxing.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
No, I mean, this one's probably the least of my style. So maybe it's the hat or something.
Yeah.
But I will say that I think that this and the shoe work really well for me. I'm not like a big jacket person.
Yeah, you're not.
But yeah, I mean, that's how I like it.
The nice thing about a jacket like this, however, whether it's this or anything else with a big jacket, is it's like two looks in one, where you take this off and it's like
It's a
a
brand new
thing,
situation.
and then you have this on over the top.
Because you got enough room if you wanted to throw like a crew neck sweater under the flannel or that situation. You can just take this off when you get to the dinner party, when you get to the wine tasting event, what have you.
Yeah. The things you do in workwear.
Yeah, that's things we do. Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, we all want to be a rich guy who is doing, who looks like they could do things.
Yeah, you can do what you want.
Yeah.
So, but this looks really cool, and in fact, I really like the green. I thought these worked out nice.
I really like the color play on this one. It works out well, and that like this is sort of unexpected for a jacket like this. I think normally it would be like a brown duck canvas or something like that.
Yeah.
This and like an indigo is a whole different thing to me. I love the softer palette of this. This looks vintage. It's like when you find that like perfect vintage one that actually fits. And then the softer green as opposed to like the more military, like what you're wearing. And then that's kind of going with the tonal element. You're kind of like you're softening all the color palettes that you'd expect in workwear into something a little bit different that I think looks a little more sophisticated. Yeah, pretty.
Sharp, baby.
I appreciate you doing this. Do we wrap it up now, or do you want a separate intro?
Outro.
We can just wrap it up.
We're gonna wrap it up now. So again, thank you for joining us. This has been an absolute pleasure. Like, comment, subscribe. We have a podcast. It's called Customer Service. You can find it anywhere you listen to your podcast. You can find it through our website. You can find it through our Instagram. If you're not a part of the Patreon, you should be a part of the Patreon, so you get early access to things like seasonal sale, to things like merchandise drops, limited edition drops, collaborations, anything we do. Additional podcast content. Pop over patreon.com/shopfromtheclub. That is about it.
No, one last shout out to Saul if you see this video, Saul, because
Oh, it's your buddy. Yeah. Shout out Saul. Shout out Saul. That's huge. Okay. Good? We're good. See you later.
Cut.